Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist, heads up the School of Criminology, Criminal Justice, and Strategic Studies at Tarleton State University in Fort Worth. And Dr. Del Carmen joins us now live on WBAP to talk more about what has transpired over the weekend, what we know about the shooter, and what sort of mindset it would take. Doctor, good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning.
What can you tell us about the mindset of someone who would try to pull something off like this?
You know, we know very little about this person yet, and what law enforcement is trying to figure out, as you can imagine, is why it is that somebody like this would actually go out there and try to kill our former president. And so what we do know, however, is that this person was a loner. This individual did not have many friends. He kept to himself. But what is really interesting and perhaps abnormal about the inquiry so far is that we just don't know much about him. And by now, we would have a whole script as to who this person's ideological affiliations are and what it is that he left behind. But so far, we don't know much.
What do we do? Do we look at, profilers will do a lot of studies on people that typically do this sort of thing. Do people look to profilers, especially when you don't have, obviously you can't ask this gentleman any questions because he's dead now, and so there's nothing for him to answer. So do you look at profilers and say, what do you guys think? Or do you just keep digging into any kind of social media, family members, that sort of thing? How do you try to get inside this guy's head?
Well, we try to figure out, for instance, if there is a pattern of behavior, if there is an expression of hatred, if there are things on the internet that this person left behind, are there texts that he sent out to other people that would allow us to sort of be able to create or recreate the mindset that he had on that particular day. And also, what we try to do is look for affiliations and associations with other people to figure that out. And, typically the behaviorists over at Quantico do a great job trying to figure that out. But I guarantee you they're on the ground right now gathering all that information. But so far, not much has been released. And so I'm here to tell you guys that we don't know what we don't know at this point.
How much does the heated rhetoric, all of the nasty things that we keep hearing, particularly from the mainstream media and a lot of the lawmakers on the left, are so intent on labeling people Nazis, you're racist, you're a fascist, you're a white supremacist, you're a domestic terrorist because you disagree, right, with them or whatever it might be. How could that play into the mindset of someone who is maybe not mentally stable? And should we continue down that path of talking that way?
Yeah, obviously that has created a great deal of influence in our hatred and our divide in our country. And this is a 20-year-old, we do know that much about him, who graduated from high school only a couple of years ago, who is likely very impressionable, who is someone that, consumed, I'm sure, all this information, and therefore went out there and in his own mind he was trying to, quote-unquote, solve a problem, whatever that problem it is that he created in his own delusion, right? And obviously the path forward is for us to learn from this. Last time we had an assassination attempt on a president or a former president was when Reagan was shot. And even then, right, so many years ago, people paused and sort of reflected as to what it is that was being the rhetoric in the country, not even close to the things that are being said right now and the presence of social media, which clearly affected the way people are reacting throughout the entire world.
Hopefully we do learn a little bit more in the coming weeks and months. And as always, Dr. Del Carmen, we appreciate having you on. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.